You're listening to the New York Sports Show, the #1 all New York sports podcast. Hosted by Dominic Konareski.
Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show, your #1 all New York sport podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Konareski. We have long relief pitcher from the Aguada Conquistadors. It's a Puerto Rican independent baseball league team, Brad Ratliff. Brad, hello and welcome to the NYSS.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, folks. It's an honor to have Brad on. Now, Brad, let's get right into things. So, you're a long relief pitcher for the Conquistadors. How did you even get, into baseball to begin with? Let's start right at the beginning of your career. What made you interested in baseball?
I grew up in New Jersey, and pretty much I idolized the Yankees, idolized Derek Jeter, Mariano, Andy, Posada. So I was very blessed to be able to watch those guys growing up, and they made me really love the game of baseball. So it just made me start from there, and after that, I just kept going and going.
That's awesome. So it's always been in your life then, the sport of baseball, and now here you are on a professional team playing the sport that you love. Now, the Puerto Rican Independent Baseball League, could you explain that to the viewers listening in who are not quite familiar with it?
It's a new league in Puerto Rico. It's right in Aguada. It's a developmental league. It's independent, so we're all professionals. We get paid, and just a way for us to be able to get signed on to minor league affiliates, other independent leagues that have a higher level of play. So it's just something that they put together, so then that way young guys or guys that need an opportunity to be able to get back into the game at a higher level would be able to do and execute.
Well, that is really awesome. Now, how were you able to get on the team? Did you have to go to some kind of training site, or were they able to scout you out?
So last year I went to the Prospect Dugout camp, and it was ran from the Atlantic League, where the Summers the Patriots were playing at previously, and I guess they saw me there, and they gave me a call, and I pretty much filled out everything I had to fill out, and I was blessed enough to be able to be selected to come over here and play over here in this beautiful country.
Wow, that's so awesome to hear. Very humbling to hear. So, now here you are playing professional baseball. What are your goals going into this season?
My goals are just to execute, get my pitches done, get some outs, get some strikeouts, and hopefully get noticed by a higher level of play and be able to go back to the States and hopefully play for a minor league, if not a higher independent league.
I think that's a great goal right there, folks. Now, as mentioned before, you're a long relief pitcher. So, with that said, overall, as a relief pitcher, you don't know when you're going to come into games. You know, there's no set rotation for relief pitchers because you're coming out of the bullpen. How does that really go mentality-wise into each game, not knowing if you're going to come in and, say, do 3 innings or not come in for a week and then come in for 4 days straight doing 1 inning each?
It's pretty much just, to me, it's the idea of being a light bulb. You want to be able to be there for your coach whenever he wants to switch you on, to be able to be on and be able to ready to go. Being able to have that killer instinct turn on and off. It's, to me, a tough position to be in because there's no predictability, there's no knowing when I'll be able to go on the mound and when I'm strong or not. So, it's just having that mental of being able to go now and being able to turn it off after I'm done.
That's cool to hear. Now, it's for pitchers, it's very hard to learn how to pitch. You know, the wind up, controlling the ball, have a decent amount of break. What pitch would you say is your #1 pitch to go to, and how did you learn how to do that pitch?
The fastball. Fastball is always the #1 pitch for any pitcher, at least it should be, in my opinion, because there's so many pitches that you can go off the fastball with a cutter, a changeup, two-seamer, slider. So, being able to throw and execute your slider, hide your cutter, hide your changeup behind anything because, they're going to be easy to know. They're going to be able to see. So, I mean, if you're able to throw your fastball, you're going to be able to do almost just about anything.
Wow, that's very cool to hear. Now, do you look up to anyone as an idol, in a way?
Yeah. As I said previously, Jeter, Posada, Pettit, Mariano. Mariano, especially being that he was a relief pitcher, so I mean, watching how he handled himself, being able to go out there on the mound and be one of the greatest ever to be a relief pitcher is, I mean, something that I really idolize, something I really try to, mimic and try to, have that mentality of, being the Sandman.
Yeah. Now, were you always wanting to be a relief pitcher, or when you first started out, did you have the idea of being a closer or even a starting pitcher?
I mean, as a kid, when I was in Little League, I've always wanted to be a starting pitcher, but as I got into high school and I started developing my role and noticing what I was good at was something I really noticed I was better out of the pen and being able to shut down the last few batters or just get, whatever outs the coach needs is something that I've always been able to execute on. So, I mean, from high school on, I've just really decided to be a bullpen pitcher and focused on making sure I can get, the outs when called upon.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, before you got signed on by the Aguada Conquistadors, what was your mindset beforehand? Was it just trying to get your name out there and just go from there, or just kind of chilling out and stuff and just playing the game just for the fun of it?
A little bit of both, to be honest. I mean, because at the end of the day, this is a kid's game, and I mean, it's a big blessing to be able to come to Puerto Rico and being able to be paid for doing something that, I was doing as a kid, and now I'm able to do it as an adult. So, I mean, it's definitely a big blessing. But I'm always filming myself, always sending it to coaches, always putting it on the Prospect Dugout app, which is a huge app that a lot of people like to put on their videos of them pitching, them hitting, and it's a good way for a lot of players to be scouted and be seen instead of trying to go to pay for camps and pay for mini camps and tryouts. It's a perfect opportunity to be able to use social media to really prolong your career and get yourself out there, because I mean, if you're not trying to get your name out there, I mean, there's not really going to be many people that can see you.
Yeah, social media is getting bigger day by day, night by night, and a lot of people, a lot of athletes especially, using that to boost their careers. So that's good to hear about that. Now, final question. Obviously, you're a big Yankee fan just like me. Would you say that's the team that you would like to be on? Let's hope in the soon future, if a major league team notices you and decides to sign you on, or would it be a different team for, say, like the Pirates or the Philadelphia Phillies?
I mean, obviously, as a big Yankee fan, I would love to be able to play for the Yankees. I know the mentality that it takes to be a Yankee, and I know the New York media is a very hard media to play underneath, and the fans are definitely a lot harder to play for, too. But if I can't play for the Yankees, I definitely would play for just about anywhere, be able to get a platform and be able to use my voice to further other stuff that I believe in as well. But I mean, the Yankees would be my first option, but I'm open to offers anywhere.
Yeah, that's cool to hear. MLB Scouts, you heard that? Go send them some offers, folks. Once again, that is Brad Ratliff. He's a long relief pitcher for the Puerto Rican Independent Baseball League, more specifically, team-wise, the Aguada Conquistadors. Brad, thank you for coming on. It was a true honor to have you on the NYSS.
Thank you. It was a big honor to be here.
Thank you.